All right, now this brings us to a part where we're going to start connecting the system to our bodies. And again, using these small pads, remember the red and the black are attached to these adhesive pads. And then the remaining portion will simply be held in our palm. Just hold the clip, making contact with your skin in your palm. But the red and the black are going to go on the arm. So this is my bicep right here. Place one up here and another down here. And then just hold the clip in your arm. Let me get a better look at this. There we are. There's the red and the black on my arm and the white in my palm. So then for the programming, go to the computer. We had that exact same code up here. And with the Arduino plugged into the system, into that cable area, we're going to click on this right arrow. But there's a few things that could get in the way if it's not looking at the right port. So for the Arduino software, we can click into Tools. We can go to Board. We want to make sure it's on Arduino Uno. That's the model of the Arduino we're using. Make sure that's selected properly. And then right under that is serial port. Now it's got multiple options, and this can change based on where you connected your USB to the computer. And it's not going to be COM1. That's usually something reserved for the computer itself. It's most likely a COM4, 5, or 6. And this will be different when you plug it into different systems. You can pretty much tell the difference as if you don't have it connected. So I'll demonstrate right here. You see that we have 1, 3, and 4. So if I disconnect the system, we can go back into Tools, Serial Port, and it only has 1 and 3. So with that, we're able to deduce that it's COM4 that we're looking for. That's the one that connects to our Arduino. So this is the process I recommend for figuring out what port you need to be in. Is by having it in, taking notice of which ones are available in that serial port, and then plugging it in and seeing which one correlates. Serial port, and then we saw that ours is 4 in this particular case. So with that in mind, we then can upload the information to the Arduino, and we do that by clicking on this arrow right here, this right-facing arrow. Click it once. It'll show a progress bar with the words uploading, and then when it says done uploading, we should be all finished on the Arduino. And we can reset it, we can unplug it, and plug it back in. Okay. So what this is going to show is instead of lighting up the lights on the board, it is receiving a signal right now, but only on the computer. And in order to see it, we're going to go to this magnifying glass right here, Serial Monitor. Clicking on that will bring up another window, which when you get the connections on you, those two on your arm, and then hold the white plug, it should bring those values to about 0. And if you see a 1 pop in there, that's okay. That's a relatively small value. So look at those values, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to flex my arm, and they should read higher numbers when I do. So here it is. So there's in the 100s and the 200s, and then release, and it should come back down to 0s and 1s. So it is picking up an electrical signal impulse simply from the contractions of body tissue. So now after displaying that, we can close that window, and we can close this window as well because there is a new file that we're going to load that's going to show the lights instead. So we can go back to Engineering Camp 16, and now we double click into 2 LED strip 2014, and again And now this is the real file once it has the, click for focus, once it has that blue circle in the page, double click that, brings up the Arduino software and the code that we're interested in. So now with this one, we're going to do very similar. Tools, make sure our board is correct, Arduino Uno, we're good. Make sure serial port is correct. This is the same one that we came to terms with and realized it is the one for this particular case. So we can then go to the code, and we're going to re-upload this new code. Now, if you pay attention to the actual text in the program, it is a bit different from the previous one. This will overwrite the old program and will not only allow for us to see the numbers, but also light up these lights. So with this new program, you click the right arrow over here for upload. It's going to do its progression bar. Uploading. Done uploading. So now all the lights will turn on, and that's not the experiment itself. We want them to go incrementing carefully from green to yellow and then to red based on how hard we're flexing. So in order to fix that, with everything still connected, these two on your arm, you hold the white clip in your hand and they'll turn off. So now they're going to serve as a threshold whenever I flex my arm. So let me get far enough so when I bring it in, the lights increase. So a small amount, medium size amount, and then a full-blown flex will light those thresholds. So that's a really cool way to show a human interface device. And the way I like to explain it to campers last year is this kind of technology can be implemented in things like an exoskeleton suit along the lines of maybe Iron Man. So if you were in a company where you had to lift heavy boxes and you had an exoskeleton arm that increases your strength, you wouldn't want it to be on full blast super strength all the time, or you would, that could be dangerous. You only want the strength to kick in when you're exerting yourself. So when you apply more force, then that amplifies and tells the system, okay, lend me a hand. So that's one way this could be used. And there's also a barrage of other things that could be brought up. The sky's the limit, and that's what these projects are for, to get the mental juices flowing and come up with ideas. And so from there, setup is relatively easy. After we get some ideas as to what campers think we can do with it, you simply close out of everything. We've got the X's in the corner. Nothing has to be saved. Everything's perfectly fine to just X out of. To turn off the device, you just unplug the USB cable, unplugged the ports, and place this over here. Red, black, white, and you don't have to do that in any particular order. And then for the shields, we can probably just place them in the box that they came with. Spiker shield box, as well as the cables themselves. Take them off your skin and dispose of the sticky adhesives unless you want to keep them as a keepsake, which will also go in the box. And that'll be one of our first projects. All right. Well, thank you for listening on, guys. I make this video in the hopes that everybody checks it out, learns from it. Luckily, in this format, if there are any further questions or if you need to look over a step, you just rewind and re-reference the video, as well as possibly reach me at my email account. It is ruben@gmail.com, ITIS, and then my first name, RUBEN, @gmail.com, and I'll be able to answer whatever happens. And we'll all be in close communication this summer. Alrighty, thank you much.